Hi everybody, Jo here again. How you doing? I hope you're doing okay, and I hope this week finds you well. Today we're coming in for a crafty catch-up to use a fabulous new product from Lavinia, and it's this beautiful decorative tape. Now it comes on a roll. I think it's 50 metres on there, but I will check that. That's what's in my head, but you know my head, could be anything in there. Fabulous, lots of different designs. So over the next couple of weeks, I'm going to be showing you various ways of using it. And this one's called the Small Dwellings, because obviously it's got the Small Dwellings stamp, but I'm thinking this will be going to be great for Christmas, and especially on craft wrapping paper. And I know a lot of people like to use that at Christmas. But a couple of ladies have messaged and asked how you would use it on a card design. So I've come up with this as an idea. So we're just going to use it as a border, top and bottom on the card. And then obviously use the Small Dwelling stamp to go with it. So this is a DL card or a slimline card. They do go by both names. I don't know why. I don't know why they have two. A bit like my brother, he has two middle names, and I don't have any. I think he got one of mine. Anyway, I digress as normal. So my piece of card I'm going to start off with, I'm going to put that over there so I can see it. I've cut myself already a piece of multifarious card, and it is, I did measure this, but as always I've forgotten, 7.5 inches by 3.5 inches. And what I'm going to do before I start, I actually want to stamp the heart here, just so it's popping out from under the tape. But what I have done is I've already added my black Sharpie line round. So as always, I've just got some copier paper underneath, and I've taken my Sharpie and added it all the way round. As you know, I like to do that at the beginning. So I shall just get my stamp out. Now I have to say, my stamps are now, look at this. And I know so many have got these already. Absolutely beautiful. So I need my fairy charms. Now you can either take your stamps out as you need them, or because the little pockets lift out, I find it easy at the beginning of my project. I just take out the pockets with the stamps I'm going to be using, only because I don't have a lot of room on my craft desk. Now, I don't know if you're like me, but you know, I start off with lots of space, and this is my tiny little bit. So I tend to take the pockets out and find it easier to have these. And also it's great to put the stamps back in, keep them safe, because let's face it, how many of us do our stamps go missing? They wander. I really don't know where they go. I was discussing this at the extravaganza, and we're all saying various places where we found them, you know, the bottom of a container, the bottom of your slipper, you know, on your cat or your dog. It's amazing. So we'll just start by stamping this lovely heart. And again, I just want to wipe that with my Inky Binky. I'm just going to turn my card round, and I'm thinking roughly want it about there. There we go. And then, as always, just going to give my stamp a bit of a wipe, just so it's nice and clean for me to put away. I don't want to introduce ink into my lovely folders, so for me, I always clean my stamp. And then what I'm going to do is introduce, let's give that a bit of a blot. Try and keep those habits, those good habits of blotting that ink. We're going to introduce this fabulous tape. And I'm just going to put some on the top and on the bottom. And for me, I just want the tiny little black edge to show. And I'm going to tuck mine round the back. You could cut it at the sides if you want. For me, I just find it's a neater edge for me. And I'm just going to turn mine round this way. Now, it might mess with your head putting it on upside down. Always remember to turn my tape round. Now, again, I want to be mindful. I don't want the pattern to be perfectly on top. I want it to just move a bit. So as long as I make sure that that red house isn't on top of the red one, that's fine. And again, let's go down just about. And you can look, if it's not quite right, just lift it up. So I'm thinking there. Yes, we'll go with that. And again, just tuck it underneath. Now, I can hear you telling me that I'd merrily put my black Sharpie line on already. But that is not a problem, because what I shall do is just come in now and just add a little bit on that tape there. Just because for me it's those little touches, and I just want to make it look that lovely cohesive design so it all fits. And I just think that makes a lovely, and so quick. You know, if you needed a quick card, we've said this before, how many times do you suddenly need that emergency card? So we'll come in now with the small dwellings. And we'll stamp the larger one first, I think, in the middle. I find it's easier for me to stamp in the middle and work my way out. And I'm just going to use the black. So this is the Nocturne. And again, nice gentle tapping. And then we'll put that sort of there. And again, just give a couple of seconds for that ink to soak in. And then, once again, give that a quick wipe. And then let's go for the taller one next. So I hope you're keeping well. I hope things are going okay. Here in the UK, we're heading towards spring, or hopefully, dare I say, we should be into spring. So it always makes you feel a little bit better. As you know, I'm a keen gardener, so I do love the gardens at this time. So I'm going to place this one here. Now again, with these three, you can place them in any order you want. Make up a whole village if you want. Then I'm going to come in for the Diddy one. Everybody needs a little Diddy one. Small, perfectly formed. And we'll just add this one this side here. And again, don't rush this, just take your time, just enjoy creating this. As I say, you could put a few more houses here. I'm not going to. I'm going to add a tree. And for this, I've got this lovely set. I'm just going to put my small dwellings back in there. And this is Tree Scene. And this is the one I like. And again, if you're not sure, remember, just use your acetate and look and think, yes, I think the proportions of that is lovely. And I do use this one here. But take it off so you can see on the acetate, this is beautiful. And it's really good for making a reflection. Works really well. So we'll put this tree. I like to plant my tree, so I'm going to plant my tree just there. And as I say, it's nice because the proportions work really well. Now, at this stage for me, it just looks a little unbalanced, but I don't want anything too high here. So what I'm going to do is use this tree here and just make myself a little bit of almost like a shrub, a bush. So I've got a piece of my paper that I've torn here, and we'll use the black again, I want to keep it all same tones. And I'm just going to put that there and just use the top of this ink pad and the stamp just to create myself, look, the illusion that that's a little bush. And for me, that just balances it. It needed something, but nothing too big, too heavy. And so wipe that tree, and that's going back in my little pocket. And we're going to add a sentiment. Now on my original one, I put with love because we've got that lovely heart. But I think for this one, should we put just for you? Just because we've got, let's have a look. Yes, I think that'll look nice. And it just fits here. And also that for me follows that. You've got that nice diagonal across your card. So it just gives, when you're thinking about it, where to put your sentiment, just think about things like that. I mean, also, this would be a lovely design to actually leave without a sentiment. It would make a fabulous new home card. And as always, quick wipe. Back on there. And back in there. So that everything's nice and tidy. And we're just going to blot that. Because what we'll do now is add some nice ink and stencil work in the background. So we'll move the ink pad and the tape out of the way. And that's what you've got so far. And it just builds up nicely. Now I just want to add a little bit with my fine liner, just to almost join. There we go. It's not a lot, but like I always say, for me, it's those little finishing details that make all the difference. So we'll come in now with our acetate circle masks, and we're going to use the smaller one. And this is why it's important to blot the ink, because I don't want it to smudge at this point. And we're going to use olive. And for those in the UK, you've got good memories. It always makes me laugh because I want to say on the buses. So there's many of you that won't know what that means. So you may need to look it up. So again, take your time deciding exactly where you want this. You could have it round the heart if you wanted. But I quite like it just sort of over the small dwellings at this side. I don't want too much of it on. As always, dab the ink off first and then just gentle. Just want almost like a green hue. Now I've gone for green just because I like the green on the tape. And I'm almost making a green background. So those of you that are shouting me now saying we're not having a green sky, I'm actually creating a background. And again, wiping that circle mask and putting it away. And then getting the hill masks. And we're going for the flatter one. And I just want to find a nice sort of shape, just to add a little bit at the bottom. So, and you can always turn these over, look. So let's have a look. Yes, I think I'll go for that. So again, light tapping on the lid. I'm not going back into my ink pad this time because I don't think I need it. And don't worry if the ink just goes onto the tape. It takes it really well. And this will give me a bit of a hill over this side. Maybe just pick a little bit more ink up. And again, just lovely circular motions. And if I want to see how it looks, lift it up. There we go. And that's perfect for me. Just gives a bit of interest and just grounds everything. Now, once again, you could leave it like that if you wanted. I think that if I bring that up, that in itself is a lovely design. But as always, I just think it needs a little bit of stenciling in the background. So this one is called Glory. And the beauty of these stencils is, just going to got ink on my finger there, so I'm just going to wipe that off with Mr. Inky Binky. There we go. what I like to do is look for various parts. So for this, I don't want to just put the stencil right across. I want the shape of this lovely, almost this leaf to come down. So let me see if I got a larger one. Oh, there we go. I like that shape. And I think it sort of mimics the moon. That one there. And again, just take your time. Yes, I like it there. So again, I'm not even going in my ink pad. I'm just going to take some ink off the lid and very gently. My best way for this is just tickle it. I want you to just tickle through the stencil. We're just adding this in the background. We don't want it too hard. So try not to come on with your stencil brush and almost press the ink through. Just gently tickle and have a look. Yeah, look at that. Just so pretty. And again, we want it in the background. So we need one to come this way now, don't we? Maybe a smaller one. What about? Oh, that one looks nice, going that way. So again, I'm not even going to add any more ink. I'm going to take the ink that was on my stencil brush. Again, just gently, gently tickle. Yeah. So I want one more here. So again, take your time. Thinking that one there. So I will pick up a little more here because I like the edges darker. So I'm quite happy if it's a bit darker here on the edge. But again, it's still gently, gently tickling. Be mindful not to go over that edge because you'll get a line. There we go. And I just think that it just adds something to the background, doesn't it? It's so pretty. So we'll add a couple of finishing touches just to make these houses, our small dwellings, look a little bit. We want there to be somebody in, don't we? So let's add some lights behind these windows. It's amazing the difference. And this is just my gold Signo pen. Now, when it came to adding colour to the doors, I just had a look at my pens. And this is the pink one, and looked for a colour that I thought would match with the colours in the tape. And instantly, that looks so much better, doesn't it? We can even, if we want, just colour, go over the heart. We could leave it black. On the original, I left it black, but on this one, I'm thinking, do you know what? We'll just add a little bit of pink to it. I told you I never managed to do the same thing twice. And we want to add a little bit of highlight now to our houses. So I'm going to come in with my chalk pastel pencils. I'm just going to do a combination. I'm going to add some shading, some highlights really, with the white. And just a little bit round the moon. And again, I'm just going to smudge it with my finger. Just adds that bit of, again, almost a bit more 3D. Makes it look more realistic. And I can always come in with, this is a white Signo, and add a few more little sort of bright. And again, if I want, I can just smudge them. So it's the combination of the two. Maybe just add a little bit on the heart. And then to finish off, now I always say, if you're not into your splats, and I'm being mindful, look at this, I've discovered if I actually put my ink pad over the top of my work, I'm going to drop it. So I try hard not to. So I just put a little bit of ink on my mat, and I've got my fan brush in some water, and I'm just going to add a few little. Now again, if you don't like these, it's the time, just don't add them. I'm a little bit obsessed with my splats, I'm afraid, so I have to add some. And how quick and easy was that? But I think so effective. And if I bring the finished one in, and I just pop it there, look, you'll see the finished one. And then there's the one we've just created today. Now, there's no reason why you couldn't alter the orientation, and there are so many other decorative tapes. I hope you'll go on the website and have a look. And again, just look at the difference. Do you like the heart black or with the pink? Again, I don't know. Like I say, I change my mind like the wind. I change it as I'm going. But I just think it's a lovely, lovely design. And it's just one idea how to use this decorative tape. Great for wrapping parcels, but I think it's more than that. So I'm thinking the card would match the parcel if you wrapped it up with that perfectly, wouldn't it? So you take care. Thank you as always for joining me. And thank you for all your lovely comments. It's so nice. And we've had new subscribers. Again, thank you so much. I'm off now. You know what for, don't you? It's time for that cheeky brew and biscuit. Love and hugs, everybody. Bye for now.